Hey, Virgo Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. This is Mina, and this is your December 2020 horoscope prediction video. For those of us in the US, the holidays are fast approaching. For that reason, I just wanted to provide some information about family and friends this month, sort of like I did last month in November. Each of these horoscope videos will be broken into 3 sections: relationships, self, and the material. In the relationships section, we're going to discuss your friends, family, and romance. I also want to pull some cards to help you express your gratitude or help guide you to some unique gifts that you can use to provide to those around you. I also want to look at ways that you can set boundaries with your family in order to make you feel a little bit more comfortable within your family unit. In the self section, we'll discuss the lessons you're learning this month, how you should engage in self-care, your spirituality, strengths, and mental health. Lastly, in the material section, we're going to discuss your work and finances. Use the timestamps in the description box to skip to any section you are most interested in, or just use it as a way to refer back to it throughout the month of December. At the very end of the reading, we'll roll the astro dice over here to get a better sense of the reading, or a lot of times I find it pinpoints the most important section of the reading you should start your month out focusing on. If you're watching for someone you love, there's also going to be a specific timestamp to the romance or family section, so you can use that to skip there now. For those of you who are watching your sun sign video, please be sure to check out your moon and your rising sign video, or some people call it Ascendant. This is going to give you the most personalized reading that you can get in this generalized reading setting. If you want a personalized reading, I do offer them, so send me an email to minanixtarot@gmail.com. If you don't know your sun, moon, or rising sign, I put a link to a natal chart creator, so that way you can go ahead and figure those things out for yourself. I usually shuffle on camera during my horoscope videos, but because we're going to have larger stacks to get through this month, I'm going to go ahead just like I did in November and just start us right off in the self section. So let's begin. Let's go ahead and get started with your self section. For the theme of your month, you've got the Two of Wands, spiritually, justice, and then this little quote card Spirit's picked out for you. For self-care, the Ace of Cups and try something new. And for your mental health, Concia, she who whispers secrets, confessions, and confidants. So Virgos, this December, you're going to find yourself making a huge decision. If you can see this dog here, he's kind of at the fork in a pathway. You have this feeling like the grass is greener on the other side. You're taking a look at 2 different options here and thinking, should I stay or should I go? What should I do? It could also be stating that there's going to be some kind of traveling overseas for you this month. There's a very small portion of you that's happening for. But for the majority of you, this is really a time when you are trying to collect as much information as you can about 2 different situations. For a lot of you, you're kind of dreaming and wishing for bigger things. Like I said, you've got that grass is greener on the other side type of vibe going on. So you really need to collect all the data that you can, which you're really already great at, Virgo, and figure out which is the best path for you. Spiritually speaking, we've got the Justice card here. Justice deals with karma. You are maybe in a cycle right now where you're reliving something and you're like, oh my gosh, I just did this. Why is this happening to me again? It's because you didn't fully learn your karmic lesson the first time around. You were sent here to learn specific lessons within your lifetime. So the sooner you learn these lessons, the better off you're going to be. And Spirit provides this supporting quote: I witness the darkness and call upon the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So this is like Spirit's way of reminding you that you need to be loving, forgiving, and caring of oneself. If you are repeating a cycle and you're like, why can't I figure this out? It's because you're not ready to release it yet. You're still learning. You're still in the process of truly releasing this fear. And that's not an easy thing to do. So what can you do for self-care this month to sort of give yourself those loving, warm, fuzzy feelings? We've got the Ace of Cups and try something new. The Ace of Cups is all about a new outlook on empathy, compassion, and happiness. It appears in tarot readings when you are starting to feel a sense of positivity about yourself. And when you feel that positivity, it's time to begin new friendships and really get out there and connect with other people. Try something new is awesome. It's represented by the solar plexus chakra, our gut, are confidence. Both of these cards are working really beautifully together and are giving very succinct answers. There are two things you're trying to decide between, right? If there's a way for you to get a little bit of a taste of the new thing you're less familiar with, take that opportunity. If you can talk to someone who does what you want to do or is experiencing, I'm not sure which decision, I don't know if you're making a decision between, being in a relationship, not being in a relationship, if you're making a decision between taking a job or taking this job, or if you're making the decision to change your spiritual outlook. Whatever it is, find a person who is experiencing that and see if you can shadow them for a day. See if you can talk to them about what they're going through. If you're thinking of breaking off a relationship, then maybe go without telling your partner and kind of live your night as if you were single and figure out how you feel about that. And remember, when we're trying something new, especially if you are a very introverted Virgo, it's okay to try something new with a friend if that's what makes you feel more comfortable. I heavily encourage you to engage in some new behaviors and to really start new things. Good news and celebrations are coming your way, but you need to be able to branch out, to live in the uncomfortable for a little bit. And if that means just taking a little sample of what that life might be before making that full transition, then so be it. For your mental health here, there's something in your own personal authenticity that you have been hiding and keeping secret lately. And it's time for you to really have compassion for yourself and allow that part of you to exist. We all have parts inside of ourselves that we're not so proud of, and they're there for a very specific reason. For your own mental health, I would heavily encourage you to look into that, whether that be something like shadow work, whether that be talking to a therapist, or whether that be having a really good conversation with a close friend. That is 100% something you need to do for your mental health. Holding on to these behaviors or these parts of yourself that you don't find as nice or kind, or you're afraid you're going to get judged for, is only blocking your ability to really be able to empathize and understand the other people around you. And it could be what's causing a lot of these social anxieties that you're feeling at this time, this fear, this anxiety that you're feeling at this time. Think to yourself, when do I need to be more gentle with myself? Can I allow myself to be nurtured by others? These are important questions for you, especially the majority of the Virgos I know. They're very, very hard on themselves. They have a really hard time letting other people help them, care for them, and that's where you need to be. And as far as your mental health goes, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk to somebody else about it and let your guard down a little bit here. It's going to provide a much greater sense of confidence inside of you. Okay, let's move into the relationship section. So your family is in the energy of the Temperance card reversed. To put up healthy boundaries for yourself, the Knight of Cups reversed. Lizzie, Revelation. Your friends are in the energy of the Queen of Swords. What gift you can give to the world right now? The Mouse. And for love, for my single Virgos, the Two of Swords. And for my Virgos in a relationship, the Two of Cups. Let me do a quick scooch here. Okay. So your family has really lost a sense of hope in a way. And because of that, it seems like they just keep taking and taking and taking because they're really not understanding the bigger purpose of everything. They've come to a roadblock. They've come to a situation where they're struggling to get past it. And instead of moving past it, they've kind of like thrown their hands up in the air and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just going to take what I want, get what I want, and move on. So you're dealing with a little bit of selfishness with someone in your family at this time. And their selfishness can be leading to some risky and harmful behaviors, which is really troubling. Or you find that they're easily getting dragged into other people's drama. Like they live and feed off the drama, and every conversation you have with them is another vent sesh about someone else in their life. So a good way for you to set up some healthy boundaries in that situation is the Knight of Cups reversed and Lizzie. I really want you to start thinking about who you want to become. I feel like, Virgo, you've been doing a lot of soul searching lately. You've really been trying to figure out who you want to become in the future. And you're working through some past self issues here. When the Knight of Cups is reversed, it's talking about being very sensitive, very emotional, really being able to put yourself in the position where people take advantage of you. That's where these boundaries are coming in. You really need to take responsibility for your own emotions and your own well-being, and that's the way you set those boundaries up. Focus on your true emotions, not the emotions that other people might be bringing into you. They're coming at it with a lack mindset. You've already done a lot of this strong work in the background, and so you don't have to get sucked back into your old patterns here. A revelation is coming to you, and you're going to be like, oh, that person triggers my old self. When you get around them, you're going to be like, that's why I have this behavior. And you're starting to be able to see through your family where a lot of your old patterns have been coming from. Now, your friends are in the energy of the Queen of Swords reversed. So to make matters even a little bit more stressful for you, your friends are really struggling to let go of your past. Your friends are really struggling to see the new you and to develop a new sense of self. The world is shifting and changing, and you can sense that. You've been doing this work. And it's almost like your friends want to drag you back to the past. Here's the deal though. This revelation card is here. It's a gift. You're revealing all of these truths. People are bringing falsities to you, and you're almost instantly able to be like, wait a minute. That's what old me thought. That's not what new me does anymore. And so you have this ability to put up a boundary. The boundary for you is truth. It is seeing the truth in things that other people are not quite ready to be a part of yet. Don't let other people use their trauma as a way to justify bringing other people down. And don't allow yourself to be brought down because of past trauma, because you've been triggered in another way. It's okay to notice it without judgment. If you need to feel it with your whole heart, go ahead and do that. But don't allow it to bring you back because you've already made so much progress. Now, the gift you're going to be able to give to the people around you here is the mouse. At times, the mouse can be very detail-oriented. It can be very nitpicky and very nervous. But when you have a mouse on its best day, it's organized, resourceful, and prepared. See, because you have all of these truths coming to you, you're able to organize the information that you're taking in quite quickly and figure out the best thing to do with the energy that people are bringing into your life. It's going to be quite painful to release that control for you, Virgo, and to say, that emotion isn't my emotion, that truth is no longer my truth. I'm going to allow this person to grow at their own pace. That might be very difficult for you, but that's what you need to do. There needs to be a sense of you taking a step back. So what are you able to give the people in your life this month? The ability to take a step back, to live in your own space, to work on yourself and allow them to do the same. It's time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye, and that project is yourself, is your own truth, is all of these revelations that Spirit is giving to you this month. Let's go ahead and move into love for my single Virgos, the Two of Swords. This is just talking about very specific people, so if this is not describing your current situation, Virgo, then go ahead and watch your Sun or Moon or Rising video, one of your other ones, and get your love information. Now, these are just for the Virgos that are trying to decide between two different people. It's really, really important that you make this decision this month because you're kind of stringing someone along unfairly who's really putting their eggs in all one basket, this relationship with you, and you really want to make sure you cut it off before they get too emotionally involved and it becomes even more difficult for you. Again, if that doesn't relate to your current situation, another message I'm getting for Spirit with the Two of Swords is that you could be avoiding letting someone into your life because you're afraid of them rejecting you. It's that secrets card. You're afraid of letting people see the real authentic you because you're too afraid of them saying, "Ooh, that's too scary and that's too much for me." And it's really preventing you from opening up and making a connection with other people around you. For my Virgos in a relationship, the Two of Cups, this is a strong proposals card. So whether that be marriage proposal, proposal to move in together, proposal to buy a house, there's something your partner is bringing to you. They're like, I'm ready to move to the next step with you. And they're bringing this choice to you. I think I'm understanding why the theme of your month is deciding between two paths. So they're bringing this opportunity to you and you're like, woo, that's a whole life change for me. And you're really looking at, it's an exciting thing, but it's totally different than what you're used to. And so I understand why there's a bit of tail spinning going on here, Virgo, because you're like, is that something I want? Is that not something I want? And like I said with the self-care section, it might just mean you go and you talk to someone who owns a house, who has been married, who has moved in with their boyfriend or girlfriend, or significant other, and you really try to figure out if that's the right step for you. It's also an indicator that you're with your soulmate. You may find yourself being reassured this month that, oh, this is exactly the person that I'm supposed to be with, and you feel this sense of relief finally in the relationship, like I've made the right decision. Even though they frustrate me at times, even though they're not perfect, they are my person. So it's really, really positive. Let's go ahead and move into the material section here. In your career, Virgo, the 5 of Wands, and financially, the 4 of Pentacles reversed and the Hierophant reversed. Interesting. There are personality conflicts abound with you at work right now. I'm not sure if for you it's like you and a client who aren't seeing eye to eye, or if it's you and another coworker who really aren't getting along. You see these dogs like all kind of, they're running together, but it almost seems like they all have their own agenda going on here. They're in a pack, but it's like absolute chaos, right? If you're in a more cutthroat industry such as sales, PR, stock brokering, this is coming up because things are about to get real, real competitive. And I guess for those of us who are going through the holiday season in December, it makes sense that we're all truly trying to compete for getting the biggest sales, the most money brought in. There's a big sense in the December time, especially here in the US, to get more money, to get the bigger presents, better things. I want to urge you against getting caught up in all of that craziness. I mean, if you're into that, if you're into the competition and you want to get really into it, then that's great for you. If that is really stressing you out, this level of chaos, and you prefer a more harmonious situation at work, then I would heavily suggest get yourself calm and present yourself in a calm, focused manner, and you'll see that other people around you will be persuaded by that. As humans, we like to match the same energy that everyone around us has. So if you're bringing in that calm, focused behavior, you may start to see your coworkers really modeling that behavior themselves. Financially, with the 4 of Pentacles reversed here, I'm being told that you are holding way too much value over financial gain this month. You are holding on to your wealth so tightly, you're saving, you're obsessed with money, and what's happening here is it's making your money lessen and lessen. It's basically like you're telling the universe, I just don't have enough, I've got to save, it's never going to happen for me, oh, I'm really running, it's out of control, I don't have enough to pay my bills, and so you're being presented with a situation where you don't have enough to pay your bills. That's all you can see. All you can see is what you can't afford, can't do, can't be a part of, and you're making your world very small. With the Hierophant reversed, you want to try to go out and find a mentor or read a book about money, about financial advice. You're looking for an expert. And through learning through that expert, I feel like you're going to see some of your fears and anxieties about your finances lessen, and in turn, the money is going to be able to flow to you much more easily. Remember this card that Spirit picked for you, allowing you to see your fears through the lens of love. Very similar thing. You want to go out and seek financial advice from people around you so you can realize that it's really not that bad. You're really not in dire straits, and figure out the things that you need to change to help yourself feel more comfortable and confident in your financial situation. Let's go ahead and roll the Astro Dice here to get a better sense of the reading. We've got the 2nd house represented by Taurus. Looks like that's the Virgo symbol here. And then the moon, which represents Cancer. So this could be saying that you have Cancer, Taurus, or Virgo somewhere else in your sun, moon, or rising sign. And this is confirmation that the reading is for you. The moon is all about our unconscious mind, our instincts. And Taurus is all about money and daily routine, our values, our material possessions. Then you want to bring in this Virgo vibe. Virgo also represents career. It represents health. It represents analytical nature, work habits, organization, all of those lovely things. If you're a Virgo sun, you're probably quite familiar with what your sign represents. This to me is saying you've got a lot of anxiety in your subconscious mind that you have yet to deal with when it comes to the material realm. There are a lot of things that you need to take a look at. Highly encourage you, Virgo, this month to look into shadow work and get familiar with the parts of yourself you typically try to push down and push away, because there are some anxieties there that you are unaware are playing a huge role into the way that you make decisions, into your emotional state on a day-to-day basis. So I heavily encourage you to do that. That is like a message directly from Spirit. They said all of that word for word. shadow work, take a look at those embedded anxieties. We are only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. So all of these other anxieties that are popping up for you are something that you learned. You need to go back to the root of when you learned them. And again, remember I said you're going to be listening to some of your family talk and it's going to be like a revelation. You're going to be like, holy bajoli, I don't have a fear of this. My mom has a fear of this. I don't have a fear of this. My cousin told me a story and now I have a fear of this. I need to let this go. This isn't even my fear. So I see that coming down the pipeline for you, Virgo. I'm very, very excited for you in that realm. These are all the messages I'm getting for you. If this video resonates with you, go ahead and give it a like. Comment down below on which sections you'd like me to keep for the upcoming months. I was just kind of doing this breakdown specifically for the holiday months. But if this is something that you'd really like to be a regular thing, please let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Subscribe to my channel for more pick a card videos as well as monthly horoscope readings, and I will see you next time. Bye, Virgos.